Hey y'all. This is going to be a quick video about a way in which the Lord speaks, which I recently discovered, and I think it's a really common way that many of us have probably missed. This way is called like heart nudges, or the flash, or in the lightning. The verse that he gave me to kind of back this teaching is 1 Kings chapter 19, verses 11 through 13. I'm gonna read it if I can find it. Okay. It says, "The Lord said, 'Go out and stand on the mountain in the presence of the Lord, for the Lord is about to pass by.' Then a great and powerful wind tore the mountains apart and shattered the rocks before the Lord, but the Lord was not in the wind. After the wind, there was an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. After the earthquake came a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire came a gentle whisper. When Elijah heard it, he pulled his cloak over his face and went out and stood at the mouth of the cave." Ooh, I love that verse so much. So much. For more than one reason. But he gave me this to back this teaching because there's a key in which many of us have missed. So it says, "Go out and stand on the mountain in the presence of the Lord, for the Lord is about to pass by." So how God works, how his word works, is he's constantly moving, right? He's constantly in motion. He's here, there, and everywhere all at once. Himself and his word. So because he's constantly in motion, he will pass by, he will visit us actually on a daily basis. But it's up to us to be able to catch him, to understand, well, that was you, Lord, I think I've kind of talked about this before, that it's not like he wants to figure everything out. It's a relationship. So it's he gives you something, you give something back, and it's a back and forth, right? And that's how communication with him works. You have to be able to know how he speaks, and just be familiar with his thoughts and his way of speech in order to be able to even pick up on it for the most part, Now, when it talks about him passing by, it's saying that, Elijah had to use discernment to know that, well, that was the Lord, not I am the Lord, you know what I mean? And it's the same thing with how he communicates in general, but in this specific type of communication, something that we experience quite often, that we will often attribute to coincidence or something like that, is actually God speaking. Now, I've shared before, personally, I do believe in coincidence. I know there's a lot of Christians who don't, but I do. But I'm not going to talk about that. So within this way, how to tell if it's the nudge from God or if it's yourself. I have so many stories about this where I basically knew something was going to happen, or had a good idea something was going to happen, and it seemed so far-fetched, so like, why would I even be thinking about this? And it happens. Like, once or twice, no big deal. But if it happens very, very frequently, you start to feel a little bit weird. Like, I just thought, like, dang, maybe I'm a freak, like, I don't know how to take this. So the story that not the most recent, actually happened to me yesterday, but a few weeks ago, my mom was doing laundry, and randomly I thought, dang, like, I hope our washer or dryer doesn't go out, or something, like our washer and dryer might go out, or something to that effect. Something about it not working. Can't remember exactly what it was. And I brushed it off. I was like, okay, I don't know why I would think that. That's very odd. A day or two later, our dryer goes out. Now, from the surface level, that just sounds like a coincidence. That's fine. I brushed it off. I didn't think anything of it. But I noticed, well, we actually were talking about this at my church, this way in which God speaks. And I noticed that there's a pattern with it. There's a pattern with everything, and especially everything God's involved with, because he's a God of order. So whenever this kind of nudge would happen, not only would I have an idea of like, oh, hope this doesn't happen, or this might happen, or something like that, and it will seem so random, far-fetched, whatever, but it will also be accompanied by a memory of a past time when it did happen, or somehow something that I've experienced that relates to this idea, if that makes sense. Sorry if that doesn't make sense. Basically, the idea, the thought is not independent of a memory. And that is where I believe the key is found, that it's the Lord and not just my random thoughts. Because if it's my random thoughts, it will just be like, just like how I had first looked at the situation, it will be, oh, like my washer and dryer might go out. Okay, don't know why I thought that, and I move on. But then when I came back to that, because it actually did happen, I was like, let me like review this a little more. Because why would that come to mind? Why would I have that feeling? Now, for me personally, this is something that I've experienced throughout my life with 100% consistency. A month ago or so, same exact thing happened with my car. I said, dang, I feel like, what did I say? I feel like I need to go out because I might not be able to use my car if I wait like a day or so. Don't know how I would have thought of that. Don't know how that came to me. And sure enough, and okay, so I thought that. And then the memory that I had, I kind of have an old car, but it works fine, like day to day. So the memory that I had, it wasn't just like, oh, like it might explode or something like that. The memory that came to mind when I thought that was when my battery went out. It was like, or actually it didn't go out. It like, or yeah, it like temporarily went out. That was like, oh, I don't know when that was, but it was a while ago. Like I didn't have any problems or any reason to think that. And I thought like, yeah, I should probably go out, might not get a chance. Sure enough, next time I go to my car, the battery doesn't work. And when the battery did stop for the first time, and again, this was like, it was sometime last year, same exact thing happened. I said, I might want to like go home or turn off my, or not turn off my car or something, because, I don't know, I'm worried about the battery. Nothing had ever happened. Now that was kind of interesting because nothing had ever happened, but I just felt like, oh, I need to be cautious with the battery. I don't know why. So it's a very specific, so in that instance, it wasn't a past memory or anything like that, but I did have a very specific idea about why I needed to be careful. And it wasn't just like, oh, like something might happen, like, or just like some random idea without anything, I guess, accompanying it, if that makes sense. I hope this will help someone. I realize that this kind of sounds very much a little even far-fetched, and that's okay. If you don't understand it, it's something that I am actively trying to understand because I don't fully understand it. But there is a difference within me, just thinking about something random versus thinking about something and then having like something like back it, and then it actually turns out like how I, thought, or how I was warned or whatever. I actually heard a story recently. It was same thing. I don't know why everything is revolving around cars, but it was a lady who her husband had felt this nudge to not turn off his car, but and he was brought back to the idea of, I think it was like a year or 2 years prior, his car didn't work. He's like, but the car's had work, like it'll be fine, like there's no problem. And sure enough, car would not start after he had turned it off. And he's like, if I only listened. So I'm just sharing this so you maybe can expand your awareness for how God talks. I'd be very careful with this one because obviously it can be kind of tricky to tell, but hopefully, hopefully there's something there for you to be able to examine this yourself and take it back to the Lord yourself. So, all right, bye.